Yeah, so the first one of these that we're going to talk about is called Zombie Lake, which has a 3.1 score on IMDb. Now, this film was originally meant to be directed by Jess Franco, but he pulled out because of budgetary reasons. He wanted a higher budget, but they said no. And then he's like, well, fine. So he'd already written the film, and he ended up being replaced by Jean Rollin, who we've not talked about on the podcast before. Ria, have you seen any Jean Rollin films before?
I have not, but I do have the synopsis. So,
Okay.
Zombie Lake. So, in a small village somewhere in France, German soldiers killed and thrown into the lake by the resistance during World War II come back. Who would have thunk it?
Well, yeah. So Jean Rollin is not happy with this film. He kind of wants it to be expunged from his filmography. And I kind of see why. If you've never seen any of his films, this is sort of representative, but not really. Because his films, it's people who kind of seem to have been hypnotized. They're very still. They don't really react to stuff. Yeah. But normally they're a lot more atmospheric. So his better films are films like The Iron Rose and The Grapes of Death and Fascination and films like that. Whereas this is a Nazi zombie film, basically. So, yeah, it's not great.
I mean, these two movies that we're going to discuss have an awful lot in common. They're very similar in a lot of ways.
They do. They have a very similar plot, as we will discuss. The MVP of Zombie Lake for me is a family of swans who are on this lake. I swear all the lake scenes must have been filmed in the same day, because in the background of all these shots are just swans.
I've actually noted that down, that these swans are really unaffected by everything that's going on. They're just
bothered by
gliding past.
Just these men with green face paint on coming out of the lake.
Yeah, well, the MVP for me as well is all the 80s bush again, which we discussed on the last episode. There's not much trimming or shaving going on down there.
It was 1981.
It's a different era, It was either that or you have to wear a merkin, if you were.
Yeah.
I don't think these actresses would have been paid enough, to be honest, for the amount of close-ups there were underneath in the water of the JJ. So, yeah.
Well, I was watching with my partner and she went, "You actually see lip in this."
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Go Lily.
Yes, you do. Yes. Although it's not quite the Jess Franco, very, very close up. Of that type of stuff. I don't know, how many of these types of films have you seen?
I've seen a fair few of the sort of Euro-exploitation, sort of headed up by Rollin and Franco, amongst other people. But the female form is something that is often admired, and normally you admire from afar. But these directors really wanted to get smash cut zooms directly into anuses wherever possible, which.
Pretty much.
But you're in the hands of a true auteur. You really know when you're watching a film made by a French or Spanish pervert, which is good because at least you know where you stand.
Especially if it's set to elevator music. I mean, that's when you know you're with a pro there.
Yeah. And the one thing I'd say about both of these films really, but definitely this one is the locations are nice. I like the area where the lake is. I like the town. I like where the mayor is living or where his office is, in this sort of very grand sort of building just in the middle of town.
Yeah. They've got that typical trope of the female reporter, the news reporter.
The most annoying female reporter, unprofessional female reporter.
Yeah.
Who talks over everyone constantly.
Yeah.
My favourite thing about her is she turns up for some reason. It's very arbitrary, kind of just why she's there. I want to do a story about the lake. Oh, do you now? Oh, okay. And then the mayor tells her this story and then she disappears and then she just comes back.
To die.
Where have you been? What's going on? Also love how the mayor seems to be kind of who everyone sort of goes to whenever they've got a problem. So it's in this town, do people, if their plumbing isn't working properly, just, the mayor will sort it out for me.
He might be the landlord of all the. Yeah, that's why he's the mayor. He's come into a considerable fortune and set up some weird town where everyone has to do what he says, ignore the lake. There's nothing going on in the lake. I assure you, the beaches will remain open. There is no shark. The thing that for me was this water that they're coming out of. I don't know if you've seen recently those clips of young boys jumping into old fetid swimming pools and ended up with brain-eating parasites.
Yes.
Yeah.
My concern when it comes to murky water is always that something is going to climb up my ear hole or my dick hole and ruin my life.
Like the time I once decided to go swimming in a lake in Greece and came out covered in leeches.
Oh, no.
Not the best.
Not the best. Were you feeling under the weather? Because they could have sucked out your ailments, perhaps.
Maybe.
Yeah. And then it was 1981. They didn't care about these things. Like, fuck health and safety. They're just like, oh, just go in or whatever.
It will be fine.
Did anybody else notice how that taxidermy owl that was in the mayor's office was just like getting a lot of screen time? It's like they fucking love that prop. They're like, oh, just have the owl at the front because it looks very regal and posh.
Oh, yeah. See, it's just the production design is just so random in these films because it's like, oh, we're here. What do we like? Okay, let's just throw any old shit in there. Just, to make it look interesting. And the paintings and stuff like that as well. That's another thing.
Yeah, there was also a really convenient van of volleyball team girls.
Okay, so that was my favourite bit of the movie because it was just so absurd. Did you watch this with the English dubbing or with subtitles?
Subtitles. What about you?
English dubbing.
Okay. So I watched it with subtitles as well. So in the subtitles, they say it's a basketball team, which it's clearly not. It's clearly a volleyball team.
So they play volleyball, but I think it does say basket on the side of the van. So
it does say
there's
basket.
conflicting reports as to what their sport is. But I do like that in all good sports teams, when you immediately turn up into a random town in the middle of nowhere, the first thing you decide to do is all get naked.
Yeah.
And play fight in the water.
Yeah.
I think when I used to be with my under-12 football team, we did the same thing. And there'd be, the men in the bushes with the binoculars, but that's fine. It's something for my therapist to deal with. But yeah, I liked that any available opportunity, every woman in this film was more than willing to expose their entire female form to the world, which is, we don't get that these days.
No.
These days.
Wonder why that is.
I don't know.
That was my favourite part of the film because it's so ridiculous. And the music is so bad. While that scene was going on.
It's a bit Carry On camping.
Oh, so is. Yeah, really is.
There's a lot of frolicking in the hay as well.
Yes, there's a lot of that as well.
Really a lot of frolicking.
But also very quick pregnancy gestations.
Yeah.
Very quick. Like surprisingly. Yeah. People get pregnant very quickly and have the kids.
Yeah. It's like, had sex, right, pregnant, immediately had the kid, died.
Yeah, everybody died in childbirth and
It was the 80s.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
And they weren't really that sad about it either. They're like, oh, well, she's gone,
Yeah, oh, well, life goes on. Celebi.
Got the baby.
I mean, one of the questions I wanted to ask you is, why are they coming out the lake? What is,
what's the law behind this
What's
lake?
the catalyst that now, of all times, is it because Helene has become of age? That they've risen, they've followed Dad's suit and coming out? Because there's no reason for them to come out. Sometimes you're mining and you disturb a rock and it releases them from their chasm and they've come out. But this one, they just kind of just crop up. And I was wondering if either of you had any ideas why they came out.
I thought it was because he was coming out to see his daughter, but
she's been alive for years. Why not?
Yeah, there was no...
Was there always a Nazi zombie issue and they just haven't done anything about it for years until then?
This is just one instance of this happening and it happens yearly, but we're only seeing this one.
Yeah,
maybe.
Sure.
And it's not even that the reporter came along and disturbed things because she doesn't do a lot, does she? So
it's just good for background colour to understand because obviously the plot is that this town killed all these Nazis
in World War II
at some point and then
threw them in the lake.
And I'm guessing the reason why they're green now is because they're like algae hued, I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Sure.
It did make me laugh how they were struggling to keep the makeup on because they're obviously wet and they're coming out of the lake and the makeup's coming off.
I think it's amazing that in the first scene when the zombie does come out and then comes into town, he's immediately bone dry. So I didn't know whether that was one of their superpowers. The ability to dry clothes very quickly.
Yeah, I love that woman carrying her wet clothes in a wheelbarrow.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, okay.
So random.
Yeah. I don't know. They do sort of mention or the mayor rather, mentions that, people have bin thrown into this lake since like the Middle Ages or whatever because they were accused of witchcraft or something like that. I don't know. With these films, I do kind of like it in a way, though, that they don't really over-explain stuff, because that's one of the issues I have with horror films today, is like, because of people like us who will go, why is this happening? Why is that happening? So they kind of feel the need to give an explanation, when a lot of the time it'd be better just to say, I don't know, just spooky shit happened. Whatever.
I do long for the days of no muss, no fuss. Like getting in 5 minutes in and we're into the movie and this is how this happens. I don't want 30 minutes to understand Helen's grief at not knowing her mother, and then her trying to find her place in the world, and then her zombie dad come. Like, that's how they would make this film today. And I don't need half an hour of that before anything happens.
Yeah, if Fulci made this film, there'd be a gateway to hell underneath the lake somehow.
Of course, yeah. One of them.
And then there'd be spiders and all that shit.
Yeah, someone would be looking for a fortune or something, you know. They'd
that's the next one.
That is,
that's the next one.
Yeah. But the daughter is like not scared at all of her zombie dad.
No.
In fact, she's quite happy about it.
Surprisingly nonplussed by the fact her dead dad has just appeared, looking like this.
People are listening, they can't see that.
No. Yeah. Yeah, he no facial expression whatsoever, which, as I said, is pretty common for a Jean Rollin film. These aren't,
or a dad in the 80s.
Yeah, very true.
They were all pretty checked out.
He had PTSD, clearly. Yeah.
Not from a war, just from working.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, the zombies just don't really make sense. Like, at one point, the dad and another zombie have a fight. Why do the other zombies care? So they clearly like know what's going on. Like, they're not entirely like lost all their memories, even though they're dead and have been dead for many years. Surprisingly undecomposed, by the way, considering they've been at the bottom of a lake.
I'd want more bloat. I'd want more bloat out of my water-bound
There
corpses.
was one really fat zombie, though. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there was one like near the end when they're set on fire, which is hilarious. That's another thing both these films have in common. But one guy had a particularly huge gut that was like literally like right at the front of like the forefront of the frame, and you can't really miss it. So
good to see. Did you like the detectives at Kempstown who were called Spitz and Moran?
Yeah.
But I was hoping they were going to be called Spitz and Swallows.
Yeah. Ridiculous names. And they kept like dissing them. They were like, oh, they're only investigators, they're not inspectors, so you know they can't really do much. It's like, okay.
Way to mitigate my work ability.
They actually said that in front of them, like in front of the whole pub, and like shame them. So I'm not sure how much motivation there was for them to do a good job there, but
I love how all the townspeople are just in this pub, like constantly. My favourite was there was a guy who just had a gun with him in the pub, like just this double barrel shotgun, and he's just got it, and he's just sat down having a beer with his gun just there. I don't know.
He's ready for action.
Yeah.
My favourite scene was when that naked girl, topless girl, just comes in and dives on the table. And then if you just kind of look to the right of frame, there's a girl there that's really, she's trying hard
not to laugh.
Yeah. She's like laughing. And like all the guys are really serious and everything. And she's like smirking at the side there. So yeah, just like totally normal to run topless into a pub full of guys.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of pipe puffing as well. Very distinguished.
Very French, yeah.
Very French.
Yeah. I mean, all right, I didn't really like this film. I don't think this film is very good. It's quite slow. And like I said, unfortunately, compared to like Rollin's other films, it doesn't really have atmosphere. Nice locations aside, it's just very silly and difficult to take seriously at all. Like, the film starts and you've got, this naked girl just sunbathing by some random lake. And then, you've got the shots underneath her. You can see everything, basically. And then, you got the woman with the wheelbarrow. And then, you get this random backstory for about 15 minutes of this Nazi soldier. I don't know. It's all very kind of like...
It's very slow.
It's just very slow. It's not very thought through, like, at all. Like... Apparently, like, the script kept changing while they were making the film, and so no one really knew what was going on, and you can kind of just get the sense that, it's just not great, is it?
It's not great. I mean, there was some decent stunts at the end with the fire and the flamethrower, the Beirut flamethrower, which was quite impressive. I thought like the stunts were quite DIY-ish, so it's quite impressive that these actors were on fire probably weren't like stunt registered like you are today. They were probably just doing it, someone's just set them on fire and they're just ambling about like with flames on them. So I thought that was quite cool. The journalist, she died in the end. She was annoying, so that was quite fun. And she wanted to get a photo with the undead, so, she kind of deserved it, really. But yeah.
We all want a photo with the undead if we can get it. It's my understanding that Rollin took this gig on like a Friday and then they started filming on the Monday. So there was not a lot of prep time for him to sort of establish his vision. And there were occasional flourishes, there were occasional shots and scenes where you feel, okay, this is pretty, or this is well composed, or this makes sense. But a lot of what you're doing with Zombie Lake is scrambling for any identity of what this film is, because the zombies don't appear to abide by any zombie rules.
No.
They're too sentient in what they're doing.
Way too sentient.
Which kind of undermines a lot of what's going on. And it's not a particularly fun, like even the attack scenes are just generally people being pulled into murky water, and there's only so much of that you can watch. And when the 8th member of the team is getting dragged into the water, I'm like, okay, I get the gist now.
Yeah. There was one scene where it was at the beginning where someone's getting their neck nibbled and there's like no wound at all.
There's no wound. Yeah. So that's the wheelbarrow woman.
It's a bit off-putting. It's like, okay, so you've just slobbered a bit of fake blood onto a neck, really, and that's it. So yeah.
This is a film where people get shot and there are no like bullet wounds, there are no squibs, nothing like that. It's just bang, bang, bang. Oh, I've been shot.
Well, it's quite funny watching it in French show because there's that guy at one point who just goes, "Mort, dead, dead."
There's some really good sort of English bits, English language bits. There's a bit where they carry the poor wheelbarrow woman with her pants on display for all to see.
Oh, yeah.
And they drag her down, and then one of the gentlemen kindly covers her dignity.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be her dad.
No.
And he goes, "I know how you feel about your poor daughter." And he goes, "Yeah, I know." Like his response is like, "Yeah, I know. Yeah, what are you going to do?
Just shrug it off."
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah. Not the best quote from a film in this episode, by the way, as we will get to. But yeah, one other thing that I thought was quite amusing was when the reporter was talking to the mayor, they had this conversation about the name of the lake. Like,
oh yeah,
I don't know, he was very, very specific about, well, it's not the Lake of the Living Dead, it's the Lake of the Dead. Or it was something to that effect.
It's the Lake of the Damned.
He says you could call it the Damned Lake of the Damned.
Yeah.
Use the same descriptor twice.
Yeah. First of all, he's like, well, it's not Lake of the Living Dead, it's Lake of the Damned. And then he's like, yeah, it's the Damned Lake of the Damned. So very specific.
She should have then responded with, "Damn."
Oh, damn.
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 Yeah. Did you do a body count for this one?
Well, I tried. I certainly tried. There was a lot of people at one point, left, right, and centre. And I think it ends up being like 56. And I did have to look it up because it was really hard to do this.
You counting all the war scenes as well, where everyone got blown up in that. Yeah.
It's just too difficult. So yeah, 56, I would estimate. And when we talk about the next one, that was equally as difficult to place how many people. So I'm going to say it's probably equal on both, really, but we'll discuss that in the next one.
Yeah. So not a very interesting film. The last thing I'll say on this is the little girl getting a lot of flack on the internet for her acting.
Oh.
But I thought she was generally fine. She wasn't terrible. I've seen way worse. She's just doing the Jean Rollin performance, which is just very flat, not a lot of emotion, apart from when she has to cry.
They had a fake tear running down her face, which is quite funny.
And there's a scene where she's in her room and she's got her face covered, where it's like she's clearly not crying at all. They've clearly dubbed this in.
I mean, it's a low budget movie in the 80s. What do you expect, really?
Who's going after this poor young girl? Is it on IMDb? Because they're meaner over there, I think.
Oh, yeah. I saw this on the description on Wikipedia as well, where it's like there was criticism of the acting of the little girl. Her name's Anushka. Like in the opening credits, her name's just Anushka. She doesn't even have a surname. At least
she's like Cher, or
maybe. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know. If you want to watch a Jean Rollin film, there are much better. If you want to watch Nazi zombie films, there are much better. I mean, Have you seen Shockwaves?
Mm-hmm. This film is basically the same film as Shockwaves.
It just doesn't have Peter Cushing in it. So
yeah.
So yeah, not a great one. If you want to watch this now, you can do so on streaming on Amazon and Apple TV in the UK. And if you're in America, on Hoopla and Plex. And if you want to buy it, it is available from Redemption Films, which is a kind of sub-label of Kino Lorber, and that's region all. But I really wouldn't bother with this one. I don't think it's that great.
Nazi Blu-ray you'll want to pick up.
Yeah.
Love a good pun.